The fate is disturbing.
Believe it. Okay.
What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 295 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Cody Armour. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
What up?
And Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
And this week, we're geeking out about Nintendo.
Wait. Geeking out makes it sound like we're excited about it.
We're not excited?
I say we're talking about Nintendo, but I have many things to say, and they're not all positive.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Well, we are also geeking out, or are geeking out at least, about Sonic 2 and a new show that looks absolutely diabolical.
Ha 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 ha.
Puns.
A+.
I guess it's not fun, it's just, well, I guess it is.
Before we get into the Nintendo stuff, we have been playing some video games. I think I probably got the least exciting, so I'm just gonna... Days Gone. I beat it. We had a couple snow days here in Arkansas, which is a weird sentence.
That is a weird sentence.
Hey, we had snow up here. We had snow up here. That's also really weird.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like that's weirder for Arkansas, though.
Yeah, we've gotten snow twice this year. I don't know if you can call this last thing snow, though. It stayed at 30 degrees.
Uh-huh.
And fluctuated like 33 degrees to 30 degrees. And so it rained and like, I guess sleet, but it was this really hard, like almost hail-like stuff.
Okay, so did you get like slush?
It was sheets of ice.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, like it wasn't, like you could go out and it looked like snow, but you would walk on it and it would literally be like an inch of ice on the ground.
That's dangerous.
It was pretty crazy.
Over here, we get slush and they call it snow, but they spell it with an E-A-U-X and it annoys me. It's like, don't.
So I was super productive and beat Days Gone. And,
there you go.
Story's good. There's a lot of things. They really do need a sequel. A lot of unanswered
Sounds
stuff.
like they're not getting one.
Yeah.
Rip.
I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm torn on it.
That's a shame.
I would hope that... Yeah. I understand why the game didn't do well. There's still, the issues that I had with it at first. And I still have those. Like, the story got good, but...
That's one of those games that, like, a sequel could be really good. Like...
Yeah.
Like Uncharted. Like, when Uncharted came out, the first one was just kind of alright. Like, people liked it, But then 2 was just so much better. And I feel like that could have been a thing for Days Gone.
This needs that. It needs, like, a God of War 4 thing going for it. It needs I think a sequel. They could learn a lot, and a lot of other games have come out now that they could really learn from. That could make this really cool. I did go ahead. I had all the time, so I did go back and I got all of the different camps. Got their trust up. Trust is something that you have to like build in each camp. It's kind of a score, and I think it was totally worth it for the little 20-second clip that I got for doing so. Literally all it was, but it was heartwarming. I felt like I did something.
You should look and see how hard the platinum is, because I know Sony has been getting like generous with some of their platinums.
Okay, I can look at it. If it's anything with difficulties, I'm out. I played it on normal.
Yeah, most people there's people that trophy hunt, but I feel like the best the best sets of trophies are the ones without like difficulty requirements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I think my biggest complaint right now is that you can't replay that final mission, and I'm just not used to games doing that. Usually if you play a final mission, you can go back and do that whenever you want. If I weren't to have gotten the trust that I did, I could not have gone back and gotten it and played that mission again to like get that ending, which is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, well, that's what happened to me with Dying Light. With Dying Light 2, I couldn't go back and see the other ending, so I gotta like do another playthrough.
Yeah, that's such a weird choice.
Yeah,
I guess I'm just used to it like saving the game basically right before the final boss, and then you kind of go through and do everything.
It's like the point of no return kind of thing. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
This is it.
I did not get the secret ending. For those who know that there is a secret ending, I had just looked it up because I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I'm like, I get one ending. I'm like, I'm not about to go back. I remember when I played Amori, and I beat the game, and I got like, I think the best ending. In fact, I know it was the best ending. But then someone in chat was like, you need to go back and look at the other endings. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I'd rather just watch them.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going back and doing the bad ending because that was one I actually could do like pretty much right away.
Right.
The other endings I couldn't though. I had to look up the other endings, and I'm like, I kind of just wish I ended up the good ending and just like looked up all of them because it was like a little traumatizing.
Well, this is like you don't even have to do anything really. So you beat the game, and then there are 3 missions that come up just like while you're playing, and so they're kind of I don't know what do you call them. We're at the end of a story.
Like an epilogue?
Epilogue, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like 3 epilogues, and then if you get all of the of a certain mission, I don't want to give anything away. I guess if I tell you what the missions are, then you kind of get what's going on. And so then you meet a character again, and you find out a little bit more about the world. And it's pretty crazy, and definitely would impact a sequel. But I was just like, I'm done. I'm back to Apex. I'm hoping to get Forbidden West soon.
Yes.
And play that.
That's a great transition.
If you liked the first
Yeah. Segue.
Yeah.
Shelley, what do you think about Forbidden West?
I still like it. I actually haven't been playing it that much. I feel a little bit bad. It is really fun though. I have been running into so much jank that it's funny, but if I keep running into jank, it won't be funny.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not heard anything like. Is it like technical stuff, like buggy stuff, like?
It's some technical stuff. It's not. It's like when you fall and it takes forever to get up. It's climbing. Just Aloy decides not to climb up because she doesn't want to, even though she's at the top of like the cliff or something.
Maybe she's still learning because she couldn't climb in the first game.
Or then she, instead of like, I try to touch like to go to the right or top right, she ends up yeeting to the left or something. And I'm like, that's not where I told. Why? And also her commentary is important and good in some ways, but I'm a little bit annoyed that every time I re-enter certain areas, she will say the same thing as she says
weird.
Every time she enters this area. At least it's happened in one place for me. I don't know if it happens in every place. It could just be that particular place. But I'm like, okay, Aloy, like, I know this information. You don't have to say the same exact thing every time I'm back here.
It's Fee all over again.
Yeah.
Except it's her own voice inside her head.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy just because I thought it was really intuitive. You would get on a mount and then get off a mount in the original Horizon. And she would do like silly things to be like, never mind. And it was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That she had this little quick quip.
I think her dialogue AI or whatever is actually still very intelligent and very smart and good most of the time. But then there's times where it's like, I had this sort of side quest to go get some antlers from these machines. I don't remember what the names of them are. And it's like, okay, here's the site where they're supposed to be. And I'm like, cool. So I sit down and like she recognizes, right? This is the site where she's supposed to be. She's like, oh, well, I'm here. I should get those antlers. I'm like, I agree, Lily. That's why
awesome.
I'm here. And that's fine. And then what I do is, for me, it's like I see there's 3 machines that have these antlers. I want to get all of them. And I shoot them all. And then I kill the machines because I want to safely retrieve those items afterwards, right? They're items, because that's one thing in this game that I think is even more of a thing than the last game. There's like, I feel like in the last game you could still kill lots of machines and still get all the stuff you can, all their stuff, essentially. Whereas in this game, it's like you really do have to be particular about shooting off certain parts because they just get destroyed when they're killed. Like a lot of them.
Okay.
A lot of the
That's
more
kind of very
important
like Monster
parts.
Hunter-ish.
Yeah, which is cool. It's fine. I actually like that. I think it's cool. But what I did is, again, I shot off all the antlers, and I'm like, cool. And then I killed all of them. And then she said, oh, that's too bad. I didn't get any antlers. I guess I'll have to find another pack. And I'm like, Aloy, I literally... What? And so I was like so confused. It like kind of took me out of it because I'm just like, I shot the antlers off. I am on my way to retrieve them, and then I retrieve them and I get all of them. It almost made me think I did something wrong. But then I got all of them. She's like, oh, that's all the antlers I need. Now I can go talk to this person again. And I'm just like,
that's annoying. Days Gone had something like that where they have these nests that you have to go destroy.
Oh, I like the nests. Yeah.
I got over the dialogue like within the first few hours. You couldn't the dialogue in Days Gone is so bad. But anytime he would drive up to nests, he would be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I got to take out these nests."
Oh,
and then
yeah.
when you drive past it, he'd be like, "I'll have to remember to get those nests later." And
Yeah,
it would
it's
be every
like
single
that.
time.
It's similar to that. And it's
Yeah.
like, I've only played for, 10 some hours. Like, I haven't played a ton. I'm not super far in the game yet. And so it's still mostly cool and intuitive to me. Like, there was one situation, it was helpful. They changed how Vista points work in this game. In the last game...
It was the Tall X, right? Oh, that was something
in the last game, there was, like, a point in which you would have to, like... You would basically just get to the top of like a tower, you'd get to the top of a place, and then you would look, and it would like give you information and stuff.
Yeah.
In this game, you get an image, and you have to line it up with what you see around you, which is a little bit more interactive, I would say, than the last game. But you can only do it in a certain area, and what she'll do is she will say like, you look at an area. So I was like looking at the land point, and I'm just like, obviously this is supposed to match up, and she'd say, I think I'm a little too low. And I'm like, okay, I'll try going up higher. And so I go up like a cliff or something. She's like, I think I'm a little too high. I wonder if I should try this structure over here. I'm like, cool. And so I tried the structure. And then like eventually it did line up. So that was one case where I was like, oh, that's cool, actually kind of, and I actually went too far from the Vista Point area. And like, she let me know. She's like, oh, I'm straying too far from it. And then once I re-entered the area, she said, oh, cool. Let me try this again now that I'm here again. And so it's like it's situations where it is really helpful and nice, but I think it's like it just makes it suck when it's like there's the times where it's like, oh, you're telling me something I literally already know and now you make me feel dumb.
Yeah.
Or I hear the same thing over and over again.
These characters talk to themselves so much.
It's
like I know it's for you, but
So here's the thing with Aloy and I was talking to my husband about this too, because I'm just like, man, like she really does just talk to herself a lot. But like we talked about how like she was grown up as an outcast. So if people who have never played the Horizon games, this isn't spoilery. This is literally information you get from like the pre-intro or whatever. It's literally the first thing you see in the first game. She's an outcast. She because there's a situation that happened and her clan rejects her. And so she grows up from a child, from being a baby, all the way to her adult life just by this one guy. And so she doesn't get to interact hardly with anybody at all. And so she does not have social cues. She if you were to, again, we talked about 1 or 2 weeks ago, comparing characters and situations and media to D&D. I very much compare her to D&D because she has incredibly high dex, really high strength, very high intelligence. Her charisma is terrible. It's like 8. It's like, that's like the lowest. Her charisma is so bad. That is her dump stat, 100%. And like, she can be intimidating, so that is one thing. But she does not have, she's like very blunt with everything. But I think that has to do with, again, like she talks to herself because maybe that's how, I don't remember his name, but the guy who raised her taught her how to like, I don't know how to process things. And so she's like, oh, this is how I process things, is talking out loud. So that's just how she processes everything. So it's like, it kind of makes sense, like, for her. But I think in most games, no, it doesn't. But I think you can argue, and I think it's a headcanon that works for me. Or not even a headcanon, more just like a belief, I guess.
That's cool, though,
like,
that there's context with
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I kind of did that with Days Gone too. I was like, he's out in the apocalypse by himself. There's no one else around. I guess he's going to talk to himself a little bit.
Exactly. Like, if you're in a position like that, it's fair.
You have no friends.
And again, like, Aloy too, like, she's literally always on her own. Like, the only person she had growing up was her caretaker. And so she wasn't going to talk to anyone. She had no friends. Every time she tried to talk to people, they would throw stones at her because the clan said so. That sort of thing. Yeah. But anyway, that's a little bit of a tangent, I guess. But it's a good game.
Interesting observation. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that.
Yeah, no. But I'm still enjoying Horizon Forbidden West. I just kind of got a pause on it because we'll talk about Pokemon Day a little bit more soon. But I saw Pokemon Day and was like, dang it, I just want to play Pokemon instead. So I have been playing more Pokemon Legends Arceus. I am like not at the final boss, but I like am essentially at the final boss. And by final boss, I mean the epilogue boss, not just like the main story boss.
Right.
The one that everyone talks about. Everyone, like, I have a theory for what goes on, but I don't actually know. Like, everyone says it's like the best final boss like ever. And I'm like, Okay, so
Wow.
I haven't done it yet, but I basically have done all the steps to get to that point, and so that's cool. Also, part of Pokemon Day that we were gonna, they announced some stuff. One of the things they had was a free update for Pokemon Legends Arceus that involves a massive mass outbreak. And mass outbreaks are a thing in the game. Basically, if you have fully researched a Pokemon enough, sometimes an outbreak of them will appear, in which case you could just catch a whole bunch of them or fight a whole bunch of them if you want. A lot of people use it for like shiny hunting because a lot of them show up. So now they have massive mass outbreaks where it's like outbreaks show up all around the map for a certain period of time.
Wow.
I think they literally increased the shiny rate. I think they actually made it higher. Whereas before it's like, oh, you just encounter a lot, so it's more likely. It's like it actually made the percentage higher for this. So I checked that out. That's kind of fun, just being able to run around and see all these different Pokemon. But anyway, those are what I've been playing. I haven't been playing anything new. I haven't been playing Elden Ring personally because I'm not a Soulsborne person, but I know everybody and their mother's playing. Like, it's like, at this point, I'm like, do other people even play Forbidden West and Legends Arceus anymore? I think it's just me.
and
like, everyone's playing Elden Ring.
That's why I feel kind of bad for Horizon, because it's like...
Yeah,
it always happens to them. Always released with a 10 out of 10 game.
Well, yeah, and so, like,
last time it was Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Yep.
So I have been playing Elden Ring. I initially was going to stay away from it. I gave into FOMO, obviously. But then, so the encouraging part is, like, I've seen people, like my buddy Caleb and, like, a few other people, like, are checking it out for the first time. And I love that because this is the first time the Soulsborne community has been encouraging. Usually it's just, oh, get good, but it's been very encouraging. And so for me, like, I've tried those games before and, like, I just never stick with them.
Does it have a beginner's difficulty?
Nope, there's no difficulty setting.
No, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's like I understand the genre and I know what it's all about, so it's like I do have experience. Like I've gotten through a good chunk of Sekiro and Dark Souls 3 in the past. But this one I can say it's definitely they make it so there are things they do to where like they make things slightly more friendlier than previous games. Like, there's literally a bunch of the, like, checkpoint things everywhere. They're called Lost Grace points. And basically, like, it's like touch grace, which, like, the religious themes of that, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But, so basically, you have all these grace points, which are basically, like, the checkpoints, the bonfires in the other games. And then there are these, like, little, like, cross, like, totem-looking things you can respawn at if you die. Like during a boss fight or like during an encounter, you can spawn at those. So there are ways where they've made it kind of easier. I don't want to say easier. That's the wrong word. More accessible. While still maintaining their like pedigree for difficulty and challenge.
The integrity, yeah.
Yes. So the thing they do, which they kind of trick people, is they literally give you a mandatory, like, here, clear this boss, pretty early on. And you go and fight that boss, you're not going to beat him. Straight up. You're just not going to. But, so then when you actually go and, like, okay, fine. Like, you're like, I'm not going to do that. There are plenty of camps of enemies to destroy. There are plenty of dungeons. Like, there's just an open world. And the world is just yours to explore with a lot standing in your way and a lot of cool, weird things to see. A lot of weird, like, mini bosses and things. And so it's one of those things where it's like, if you do that grinding and you discover all, these cool items and these cool, like, weapons and armor that, your character may or may not be able to use, like, eventually you're going to be strong enough to go and take down that boss. And they do emphasize, so a big thing that that the Souls games have always had are, like, you can summon, like, players to help you. But this one actually has, like, summonable, like, I feel like, so there's, like, so they're basically, like, summons, but they're NPCs. And so there's, like, one of them, the first one you get is, like, a group of wolves. I killed this mariner who was, like, he was, like, a ghost ferryman, and I got, a group of skeleton militia from him, that I could summon during, like, boss fights and stuff. And it's really easy to summon with, like, your friends during, encounters as well, like, me and a couple buddies of mine were like, hey, like, let's try this boss fight together. Let's do this dungeon together. and as soon as you complete it, it despawns your friends. But like they've made it easier than ever to like summon help, and I think they encourage it a lot more. So I feel like there could be the gatekeeping in of players going like, oh, I beat this boss, no summons. Like they could totally like. There's people that could be like that, be elitist or whatever. But I like it. It's one of those things where I was getting frustrated with it a little bit, as I usually do with these games. And I said, no, I'm gonna go fight that boss later. And last night I beat the first boss, Margit or Magritte, I believe his name is. And that was just so exciting. And not long before that, my buddy beat him too, and I was worried about Caleb. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna like this game at all. And so like he got into it too. So that was encouraging to me. Like more people are playing this game, and the community is being very encouraging. So
yeah, that's cool.
I'm gonna be playing more of it. It's exciting. So yeah, it's still like it's not. So you mentioned there's like all those 10 out of 10 scores, and like it's one of the highest reviewed games on Metacritic. The like disclaimer I would say is that just because a game is a 10 out of 10 doesn't mean it's necessarily for everybody.
Okay, yeah,
absolutely.
Or just because a game gets high scores doesn't mean it's for everybody. I think it's honestly like, I mean, yeah, it seems like there are people that are giving it a try and that are enjoying it, which is good. But I just feel like, yeah, it's not going to be for everybody.
It doesn't sound like it's for me.
So
I was like, it's 10 out of 10. Maybe I should look into it.
So check this out. You guys know how Joe is with those games. Like Joe, like Platinum's the second one.
Sir.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna credit this to other games being out, but me and Jamie are both further than he is. I think like he's he's played other things. Like he's playing Guild Wars 2 with his wife right now and stuff.
Yeah, that's
for those who don't know these names. Joe used to be a host on the podcast.
Yeah.
Joe Morgan.
Yeah.
And then Jamie, he's on our Twitch team.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jamie's streaming Elden Ring right now, but
oh yeah.
I mean, Jamie has had quite a experience too. But like for me, like it's just kind of wild. But I credit like there's so many games out right now, like and Joe's interacting with other things that he hasn't put the time in Elden Ring as he probably should. So it feels weird to say like I'm further in that game than Joe is right now.
Yeah.
But he's off doing other things and enjoying other games. So, but I've had a lot of fun with it. So
cool.
Real quick, I'm not going to spend too much time on it unless y'all want me to highlight something. But I did get my Oculus, and that thing is amazing. I finally broke it out last week. I'm playing some really cool immersive stuff. Like there's a boxing game I'm playing on there, not the Creed one, but it's called Thrill of a Fight, and that's super simulation.
Cool.
Like it just feels like you're in the middle of a boxing match.
Well, they say boxing is like the highest. I think it's the second.
Yeah.
Highest cardio.
That is a
sport
good workout. Like the Creed one is very much like a very video gamey, but this one is like straight up like 3-minute rounds, like simulation. Like you're using your own energy. You don't have to worry about a character's stamina. Like you're literally throwing punches as hard as you want or as weak as you want. Like it's super cool.
Yeah.
That game made me sweat. Like that game, it was nuts. The immersive thing, like one of the more immersive ones, I think is really cool. That I wish I would have recorded it, but I did play the first episode of Vader Immortal, which is the Star Wars thing that's been around for a bit. I had a moment where I was messing with the lightsaber in the dojo, and they basically put out the drones, like that like Luke trains against and all the Jedi's train against. And so there was a point where like they go around, like they move behind you, they start moving all around you in later levels. So there was a point where I heard one literally move behind me and get ready to shoot. And I literally turned around and just blocked it with my lightsaber like a dang pro. I was like, oh my gosh, that was so awesome.
It's freaking cool.
Yeah, so... and then I have tried other things like Pistol Whip and Beat Saber. Beat Saber is really cool.
Beat Saber's so fun.
Yeah, I love that game. It's really cool. And then I tried Pistol Whip, which is basically the same thing but with guns. And I feel like that game is much more difficult than Beat Saber. Like, and I'm playing both on easy mode, and Pistol Whip on easy mode is like ridiculous. So yeah, Beat Saber is definitely the better one, I think, or at least the more accessible one. So yeah, that's what I've been doing for gaming.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll get into the gaming news then. Okay. I don't know where you guys want to start on this.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like one of those situations. It's like, well, you want the good news or the bad news first?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we've already been talking about Pokemon. Let's talk about Pokemon first.
Okay.
But I guess I don't know. It's gonna be. I mean, it'll come up. It'll.
It's a matter of, do we end on a good note or do we end on a bad note? That's really it.
Either way, we're moving on to movies. Okay. All right. Well, since the elephant's in the room, Evo, the organizers of Evo have come out and they made a statement about how excited they are about Evo 2022 being in Vegas again this year, which I won't get to compete if it's in Vegas this year.
Yeah,
no online stuff anymore. I'm looking actually for the statement in our chat, but they have basically said that Nintendo has backed out of Evo, so there's not going to be any Smash at all.
So dumb.
Smash is officially gone from Evo. I don't think they said like permanently, but it is.
I would be surprised if they would just bring it back all of a sudden, you know?
Yeah, so that's the thing too, is like, I mean, maybe they think like, oh, our PR cycle for that is done. We don't need it anywhere, you know, like.
There's a couple theories.
Yeah, go for it.
The one I honestly think is what I hope the most is just that because Evo's owned by Sony now, they just don't want to have their stuff in a Sony thing.
Yep.
Kind of makes sense. One of the other theories is that they actually did announce a partnership with Panda a while ago, Panda Esports. Well, it used to be Panda Global. They're just Panda now. They announced that they're doing a partnership for a like tournament series or a circuit.
Oh, that could be.
Was announced, and then, but the thing is, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it was the Panda one or if it's a different tournament thing that they announced, but like they finally released what the prizes were gonna be, and it was like a backpack. Yay!
That's lame.
Like just super lame-o, like not actually what Smash players want. Like Smash players just want to be treated. That sounds more like a participation
trophy. Yes,
it's pretty silly. So
yeah,
some people are saying the Sony thing. Some people are saying it's because they got their own circuit thing going on. That's what they want, you know, people to pay attention to instead.
Yeah,
honestly, it's because they hate esports. Nintendo is anti-esports through and through.
Arguably, Smash. I've had some of the most fun with Smash I've ever had without items and like actually playing it like a fighting game. Like straight up.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love to play casually, but I think me and my husband have been so much on the grind when playing competitively, and like being with the community, like the community at least around here is like just so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And like we're just all, I don't know, we all just like playing the game, and it's just so frustrating that as a corporation, Nintendo just sucks so bad. Like how because this has been going on for ever, right? For people who don't know, like they always they have history of shutting down,
you know,
Melee tournaments that are not 100% in person simply because they're using a type of emulation, like to be able to compete online. Like they. Project M has been hit the hardest. Project M being sort of a very popular mod off of Brawl.
Yeah.
It fixed a lot of Brawl's issues, and it's really fun in different ways. I've tried it before. It is very fun. It's very cool. But because it is an unofficial mod, Nintendo literally will always find any semblance of a Project M tournament and shut it down and say like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Like every single time. Even though it's not harming anyone, because Brawl is such an old game at this point.
Yeah.
That's like, why do you care, Nintendo? Why do you care so much? It's like Nintendo is always just going out of its own way to purposefully harm the Smash community and these grassroots Smash tournaments. And it's like just actually insane to me, because it's like they're such a big company and they're making so much money from other venues or avenues. So why do they still spend so much time and energy going after these things?
Yeah, they're literally targeting their own fans in a lot of ways.
Exactly, they're harming their own fans in this way. It's like, why wouldn't you want to encourage your fans to play the game more?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Why wouldn't you like want that? Like, I get that, you know, right now it's like, oh, Smash is not the newest game. It came out in 2018, or Smash Ultimate, and all the DLC's out, and therefore we can't make more money off of it. So we're going to move on to other projects. I understand that's like, okay, fine. Like, I don't necessarily expect you to go out of your way to make your own tournament like they did with, I mean, they partnered with Panda, right? But that was really unexpected of them. I think, if anything, the Smash View just wants to be, like, left alone to do their own things. If anything, they just want Nintendo to actually support, like, because if Nintendo put any sort of money or any sort of support in any of these tournament series, people would be more willing to play the game, I think. Yeah. And I don't know why you wouldn't want that. Because, like, if you look at other esports, like, freaking, like, Dota and League and stuff, it's like...
And honestly, like, Smash is probably what's getting people into other fighting games, too, you know? Like,
exactly. It's, like, you legit can make so much freaking money from games like that, like Overwatch, Valorant, things like that. You can make so much money from that. And, like, again, Nintendo just, like, goes out of their way to harm the Smash community, and it's just so... It's so frustrating. Because it's like, again, why wouldn't you want... Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why wouldn't you want your fans to enjoy the game like they're playing your game?
Yeah.
Why does it have to play the game the exact same way that you want it to be played? You know? That's what's the really big question mark. It seems Nintendo is so traditionalist in so many ways. Like,
it's very fascinating that Smash did get turned into, like, a straight-up 1v1, like, fighting game. Like, it's so cool that happened, you know? Like,
yeah, it's like, I don't know. It blows my mind every time, but at the same time, I'm never surprised. Like, seeing this happen, I was like, I wasn't necessarily surprised, but it was like, it's still really disappointing because EVO brings a lot of eyes to Smash, or it did, like, you know, when MKLeo is now the one and only EVO champ in Smash.
Yeah.
And we just have to go to other tournaments for that. It's just EVO, again, so many eyes are on Smash and other fighting games. I know for a fact that people are going to be watching EVO, and even if they don't have that fighting game, they may watch it and be like, this is super cool and want to try this out.
Yeah.
And now Smash can't be part of that. So, yeah, it's just really disheartening. Yeah. And I just don't understand how Nintendo... It's like they have an entire team to just, like, destroy fans' hopes and dreams. I don't really understand it. It's like they literally spend all this energy that they could spend doing other stuff. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's very disappointing.
So I'll read the statement from EVO just because it has other information. It says, please join us March 8th at 5 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/EVO for the EVO 2022 announcement show. While we're thankful for all the amazing games joining us later this year in Vegas, we want to let you know in advance that Super Smash Bros. Will not be making a return appearance. Since 2007, we've seen historic Smash Bros. Moments created at EVO's events. We're saddened that Nintendo has chosen not to continue that legacy with us this year. In the future, we hope to once again celebrate the Super Smash Bros. Community alongside them. Gosh, that's crazy reading that statement. Yeah. Because that sounds like it's indefinite. You know, like they didn't... Yeah. Yeah. So... It sucks because like I love EVO and it gets me excited to play so many fighting games in the summertime and it's really fascinating to see like Smash and like such a what I feel is like a younger crowd at EVO.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, the thing with Nintendo though is every time they do something super scummy, almost like the next day or the next week or whatever, they like have this crazy announcement, this other crazy thing going on. In this case, it happened to be Pokemon Day.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess there's the thing where it's like, oh, it's technically not Nintendo, but come on, people, it's Nintendo.
It's Nintendo, but it's Nintendo making money.
Yeah,
but it's not necessarily the devs of Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean it's like the Pokemon company. It's like whatever.
It's
that's
the
still
Pokemon
Nintendo.
And Game Freak devs.
So. But anyway, so they announced on Pokemon Day, they announced the new gen Pokemon games, which are coming out later this year. And
this year's insane.
I know, and it feels like we just got like so much Pokemon stuff, and it's like it's not stopping.
Like we did. I'm like, is this team being overworked? Like, I understand. I've heard like that they do have different teams for different projects and things, which honestly is really obvious when you think about it, because like, oh my gosh, think about like Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond compared to Legends Arceus, compared
Yeah.
to just the trailers we're seeing of this new upcoming game. It's like, of course they had different teams, but also I'm like, I can't just be paying $120. Well, if you want the double pack for, like, technically, yeah, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl came out last year, but it was like the end of last year. So if you wanted both those games, which if you want to get all the Pokemon, all those games, you would need both those games. That's $120. And then if you get Legends Arceus, which comes out only a couple months later, technically in 2022, that's another $60 on top of that. And now if you want these new 2 games, because we're back to the 2 games thing.
Yeah.
Going to be the same situation as before. If you want all the Pokemon, you're going to have to get both in the double pack. That will inevitably be $120 again. It's like, holy cow, you're taking so much of my money. Oh my gosh.
Nintendo. There.
It's
and I'm like, while you're at it, give me a Pokken too. While they're at it,
that would be crazy.
Give me another Mystery Dungeon or Rangers game. Can we do more spin-offs, please?
Another Mystery Dungeon would be cool. We talked about how much we like spin-offs around here. Yeah, so they showed the starters and everything, and
I like the little fire turtle, whatever he is. I don't know what you call him.
He looks like a dinosaur, like a crocodile.
Yeah. He's very cute.
Yeah, that's a cute little thing.
Everyone's talking about like the grass cat, and then the fact that
the not Farfetch.
Yeah, he's duck. Just Donald Duck.
Donald Duck, yeah.
He is Donald Duck. Yeah.
He's Donald Duck. He has a bubble hat. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Cheeky.
Yeah. It looks good. They showed like it looks very open world. Like it looks like Pokemon Legends.
They're advertising it as open world. They literally said this is an open world game.
Advertising it. I love how you said advertising it, because when it actually comes out, that could be a different thing.
I guess, but it's like at this point I really hope that, you know, if it's as open world as Legends Arceus, fine by me.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, yeah.
I hope they actually know. It's like, I think when they advertised like open world stuff in Sword and Shield, they didn't really have a good understanding what that was. Like they were still playing with the idea. They really tested it out in Legends Arceus, and then they're like, okay, yes, open world works.
We can do this.
We're doing this.
That map is literally a straight line in whatever game that is.
Sword and Shield.
Is it Sword and Shield?
Yeah,
is that?
It is.
Are you serious?
Huh?
If I remember
look at the map, and it's just like a vertical. I mean, there's more. You don't go straight up.
Right. Wow.
You basically go straight up that map.
That's wild.
You go back and forth. I haven't even played the game, but I was like, that was why I didn't buy that game, is because I saw that map and it was just like, no.
Now that I think about it, like watching Shelley like play that earlier this year, it looked like there wasn't really much going on in the sides. Like you're always going up something.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that game.
Going north.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks good from what we have seen, at least.
Yeah.
Like if they can do towns and those open areas all together, that'd be cool.
That's all I want.
That's the dream right there.
I really, literally just need, I don't even know we talked about the names. It's Violet and Scarlet.
Yes.
So it's Violet and Scarlet, but it's based in Spain, which is incredibly cool to me.
Wasn't there hints that they were going in that direction anyway before?
Maybe.
I feel like there was like references to other like.
They had references to potentially
Purple.
like a game set in like India.
Oh, okay.
They had like that big elephant that was like, oh, this came from a different region, but like they're not. That's not going to be the one for this one.
Did they do one that was United States based?
Yeah, they did. They did like New York, Kalos, not Kalos.
Was it black and white?
Unova?
I don't know.
I think Unova was US based.
Unova's black and white, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Unova. It was I think it was Gen 5, if not Gen 6, one of the two. Maybe what was Gen 7?
I don't know. Y'all lost me.
One was New York. Well, Gen 7 was Hawaii, so Hawaii's in the US.
Oh,
technically, yeah.
That's a weird,
I mean,
but no,
I think it's not like Americanized, but yeah.
Kalos, I think, was
Alola.
Paris was France.
We need another United States one, and then it needs to be Midwest, and like there needs to be specific characters.
Midwest is
that
in
all say
Kalos.
Ope.
It's all in there. Or not in Kalos, sorry, Unova. I keep getting it mixed up. Like, there's Midwest.
They all need to say Ope.
Well, that reminds me that I was playing in Legends Arceus, and there's just one guy who's from Alola, and he says Alola, and he has an Alolan Pokemon with him, and he's like,
yeah, there are some
Alolan
Alolan.
Oh, that's cool.
variation. And we're like, whoa.
In Arceus?
In Arceus,
Arceus?
Yes.
Someone called it Arceus the other day, and now I can't not say it that way.
Well, you could say that, but I'm gonna judge you. I'm just gonna say what the official Pokemon says, which is Arceus.
Tomato. No, just kidding.
What was
I think it was like something on IGN or something, and I was just like, okay.
Oh yeah, all I literally all I want in this game is the exploration sort of aspect and Pokemon catching style, as in Pokemon Legends Arceus, and the fact that there's not a huge transition to any battle, like having it all be like, because that's like one of my favorite parts of Legends Arceus. It's so overlooked, underlooked. I think it's I take it for granted, really, is the fact that every battle is so seamless. Like, there's really not this crazy, like, every single time you encounter a Pokemon, like, that takes up so much time. It's very immersion breaking. So if they continue with that, and so you can, like, have the option to just, like, catch a Pokemon with a Pokeball, but it's like, oh, if it's too hard, well, now I have to actually start a Pokemon battle. I mean, the fact is you can already, like, they advertise, like, you can see the Pokemon walking around just like in Legends Arceus. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's hopeful.
It looks like Arceus was really a prototype.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, that's kind of what we all thought, though. Like, all of us were, like, dogging on the graphics, but we're like, oh, it's probably just that they're testing this out. And, like, I think that's still the case. Yeah. It just happens to be a very fun prototype, I think. I'm having a lot of fun with it. But,
and
so I literally just, what?
I said in full price prototype.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
I want that. But then, yeah, you could just have the cities and the gyms, and you can still do gym battles, and you can still do trainer battles. There could be trainers around that you have to fight, just like in a regular Pokemon game, and like that's great. That's fine. Literally, just combine those two aspects, and that's going to be the Pokemon game that people wanted for actual years. I feel like because people have been looking for that sort of aspect for so long, and we're getting a really good glimpse of it in Legends Arceus, but it's still not, you don't have the gyms, you don't have Elite Four or anything like that. So literally, it's so simple. It's so simple that if they mess it up, oh my gosh, that's going to be terrible.
They should add a Souls-like invasion system where you can go and invade other people's games as like the Team Rocket equivalent.
Yes.
That'd be sick.
But I'm just saying, guys, like, it's so easy. It's such an easy thing they could just do. Is just combine those two things that if they mess it up, I don't know how I'm going to function. I guess I just won't buy the game at that point if they mess it up. That's the easy answer. I just won't buy the game if they fumble this bag.
You got away with that with what was it, Sword and Shield, technically. I mean, you still ended up playing it, but like you got away with it.
That was like tried it, but the hope with that game is that it would be this open world.
Yeah. Yeah, Shelley's like, no, I'm borrowing this. I'm not giving them money. I'm just going to play it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I haven't touched that game in months because it's not very good. It's not a very good game.
Cool. Yeah. That's gaming news. We could talk about that all episode if we wanted to.
Gaming.
Yep.
We'll get into the movies then. I'll go first again. Why not? It's one of those days.
Do it.
I watched The Kingsman. Or The King's Man, I think, technically.
Yeah, it's The King's Man.
The King's Man.
Which I didn't finish it last week because it was late at night.
So you got part of it.
Yeah.
You got about probably halfway through.
Yeah, about halfway.
There are some cool twists and turns in the movie. But basically, if you watch the Kingsman movie, they have a certain tone to them. And there's like a scene in the movie, a couple scenes in the movie that have that Kingsman tone, and the rest of it feels like a really serious war movie. And I don't know, it's just like, it's like they took somebody who writes really serious war movies and was like, make a Kingsman movie. And he just kind of went, I don't know how to do that. And so he just like tried his best.
Yeah.
It's not bad per se, but I definitely found myself a little bit bored, a little just totally confused.
It's not really too outstanding. There's not really any characters that kind of really highlight that movie like the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, Kingsman to me is almost, it's not quite there, but almost as ridiculous as like Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Very and so zany. This, yeah, like, is it Billy Billy Joel?
What?
Who's in Kingsman 2? Kind of spoilery.
Billy
but...
Joel?
What?
Like
big glasses. Who's the artist with the big glasses?
John Elton?
Elton John?
Or
Elton John.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
That's it. My bad. Anyways, spoilers for Kingsman 2. It's not a big deal.
That's
it's just
so
fun.
weird to think about that now because he played Elton John in Rocket Man.
Oh yeah.
That's so
okay.
crazy.
Anyways, Elton John, like in that movie. Big spoilers here for a movie. It's fun. You don't really need to worry about the story.
It's been a few years.
Yeah, he like the final scenes are in this like jungle hideaway, the Elton John's, and it's just completely ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's like the middle of a rainforest, and the Kingsman just doesn't have that flair to it. I guess it has this really fun, I guess, historical aspect to it, where it's like a historical fiction, kind of like Assassin's Creed, and that. There's this fictional story that's happening and it's causing all of the actual like real historical things to happen.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of cool.
That's a good way to put it, actually, kind of in Assassin's Creed kind of sense.
Yeah. It's just not the Kingsman that I've seen so like from the other movies, which are just completely bonkers and ridiculous and make no sense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I stand on it. I watched on HBO Max. It's probably worth watching HBO Max, but I wouldn't have bought a ticket for it. I'm glad I didn't buy a ticket for it.
Same.
To watch it in theaters. Yeah. LJ, I do think you should finish it.
Yeah, I want to. I really do.
There are, like I said, there are some cool twists in there that I think you'll enjoy. It's just not a Kingsman movie. It sets itself up for a sequel without giving too much away. I kind of don't think that they will make one, and I kind of hope that they don't. I would rather another Kingsman movie.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
They need to do a third in that trilogy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Proper sequel.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would rather that. LJ, what'd you watch?
I watched Lupin the First, which sounds fun to say. So it's Lupin the Third is the classic anime, but G-Kids did this one, I believe. Which it's still got like, it's about a thief. It's kind of like almost an Uncharted kind of sense. Like his dad was a really well-known thief. But this is like a 3D animated one instead of a 2D animated.
Oh yeah.
I think last year because I think this came out, I watched like The Castle of Cagliostro, which was on Netflix. But this one's like 3D animated, and I was really like surprised by the animation because it gave me vibes of like watching like Kingsglaive and like Advent Children, because it was so well done.
Cool.
Like it looked like the cover. I feel like the box art doesn't really do it justice, because it's this very like flat looking 3D image of him, like a side view of his face. But the animation's really good in it, and I was shopping around at Target the other day, and I was like, "Ooh, there's a Blu-ray, and there's one left. Like, you're coming home with me, because there's only one left." And I was like, "Yeah." So I bought it there. It was good. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's like streaming for free anywhere. I didn't even look. Yeah, it's a fun ride, especially if you like that like older style of anime. But they took it 3D. Fun cast of characters. That are reoccurring throughout the series, and it's its own like original plot. It's called The First, but it's not like like it's an origin story, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I think that's just like what they called it. Maybe because it's the first, and hopefully if they do more, that's probably why it's called The First of the of that animation style. But it's good. And then the other movie I didn't watch yet, but I bought along with that was I've heard it's really good, but that Catwoman animated one that just came out, Catwoman Hunted. A buddy of mine, Josh from Victims and Villains, said it's really good, and so I saw that too, and I was like, I'm gonna grab that while I'm here. But yeah,
cool. Anything DC?
Yeah.
Is it DC?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool. Their anime stuff's usually
Catwoman
awesome.
is, yeah. But yeah, it's pretty unique. Like it's kind of very anime inspired from what I've seen. Like, I don't know if it's like full on anime, but
yeah. Wow.
The style of it looks anime. Yeah, so I'll probably watch that next week. Actually, yeah, while I'm in the thick of like Batman hype, I'll probably watch that Catwoman movie. Which we have a review on the website of Batman already. One of our writers got a screener for that, so if you go check that out. And yeah, so that's what I've been watching.
Cool. Well, we'll get into the movie news then. Shelley, what's going on?
We don't have a ton for movie news, so we can again we won't have much to say. The first thing is that if you guys didn't know, there's going to be another Beetlejuice movie. By the way, there's going to be another Beetlejuice movie, Beetlejuice 2. I don't know.
What's
if it was
Beetlejuice?
talked about.
I'm kidding. I know what it is, but
Beetlejuice.
I feel like so many people aren't going to know what Beetlejuice is.
Yeah.
I feel like you underestimate. I feel like of all my friends, I know the least about Beetlejuice.
It's got a cult following, like almost a Hot Topic-esque, like cult following.
Yes.
Oh.
But anyway, just some news about this. Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder are returning for it, so that's pretty
cool.
big. I mean, those are great actors. Very cool people.
That's amazing. They're still like doing stuff too, both of them. So it's like, it's not just like, oh, this actor you haven't seen in like 20 years is coming back.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fun thing, I think.
Yeah.
But I honestly have no more to say about it because I never watched the original Beetlejuice. But yeah, I have a lot of friends who love Beetlejuice.
It's good. Very dark.
They're very into it.
It's what Tim Burton is known for.
Yeah, that's true.
And that Danny Elfman music.
The other thing too is that they've been the Sega team, or whoever handles the posters for the Sonic movie.
Paramount
have been
probably.
I guess Paramount have been updating their posters to include
that movie's due
all
out
the actors
soon.
and all the actresses. So that includes Colleen O'Shaughnessy. I'm pretty bad at saying that, but
O'Shaughnessy.
That's yeah. So, but she's Tails' voice actress and has been for a long time.
Yep.
And they got her back. They have obviously Idris Elba for Knuckles and Ben Schwartz for Sonic, but they're like, no, we got to get the OG for Tails, and they're finally respecting her as a voice actress and putting her on the poster with everybody else, which is hype.
Which they went back and changed because she wasn't on there before. So
exactly, yeah. So it's like that's what I'm saying.
To fans
though.
Again.
Sega listens to their fans. They did this in the first movie, and look how it turned out. It turned out very well. Everyone said, "Hey, that Sonic looks like crap. He looks so ugly. Oh my gosh!" And then they're like, "You know what? You're probably right. We should change this." And now everyone was saying. I remember everyone was just like, "Hey, why don't you have Colleen on these posters?"
Yeah,
like she is Tails, and like that's going to be a very big role. For a movie like this, you need to like I just love how they listened, and now she's on there, and it's like finally we're getting to this point. Like this is one of the first times I'm seeing like just a regular voice actress on the same level as these big name actors.
Yeah,
and I'm like, we need to make this the norm for animated stuff. We need to make this a normal thing where it's like these voice actors who are really freaking good at their jobs and really good at what they do, and deserve to be respected as much as these big name actors. It's like I'm just so tired. And we've heard me rant about this time and time again. I'm so tired of just like animated movies, animated things in general, being like, oh, look at all these big names that we have. More on that later in the TV section. But I just get so tired where it's like, oh, look at all these big name actors who aren't even necessarily like good at voice acting. I know we always poke fun at Chris Pratt. At least I know he does have, like he did the Lego movie and stuff. Like,
yeah, like he does have the voice acting chops, but
that's fine. But it's like the rest of, like, for example, the Mario lineup. I'm just like, what the frick? And I'm just so annoyed with all these big name actors just being placed in voice acting roles. It's like, that doesn't mean they're good at voice acting just because they're good at acting. It's two different things.
Yeah.
They're two different, like, things, exactly. So, anyway, I just think it's a really great, awesome thing. It's so easy, too, right? Like, it's so easy to just put the actors and actresses' names on the poster of a movie that they're going to be performing in. It's so easy to just include that information. So, like, why isn't that the norm? Why is this so unique? So
I guess you could say Sega does what Ninten don't.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
Bringing it back.
Frick Nintendo! Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because it's the complete opposite. They're putting Charles Martinet in a cameo role while Tails, the voice actress of Tails, is like straight up there,
Yeah. It's like, I just can't even count how many times Sega has listened to fans and it's panned out in their favor. I think that's what Nintendo doesn't realize. Nintendo is like, oh, fans creating stuff, fans doing stuff, fans creating ways to make games or to play our games. No, they're not doing it the right way, so we're going to have to shut it down. Yeah. Whereas Sega is like, oh, you guys make Sonic games?
Yes.
That's awesome.
They got
we love
a fan
the passion.
to do Sonic and his company to do Sonic Mania.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and that panned out in their favor, and everyone loved that, and everyone's like, really cool. And, I mean, they're, like, even Sonic's social media is so ingrained with, like, the memery that is Sonic.
Yeah.
They see their fans creating all these memey things with Sonic, and they're just like, hey, that's actually pretty cool. We want to embrace this. It's really funny. Like, you're making fun of us, kind of, but we think it's really funny, so we're going to go along with it.
Yeah.
And again, with the Sonic movie, the OG changing, and now with the poster, it's just like, this always goes in their favor. It's almost as if listening to fans makes your fans happy. It's crazy concept, I understand.
Hear that,
Nintendo? For Nintendo. I guess they're just way too high up on their money tower to listen, I suppose. I don't know. I would love it if they actually listen to fans. Like Sega does.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's setting a standard, I feel. Sega is.
Yeah.
But that's all we got for movie news. That's really it. Not much at all.
Cool. Well, we'll get into the TV news then. LJ, what's going on with Clone Wars?
Oh man, I'm loving my rewatch of that so much. Like, it feels like season 4 is the season that got good. Like, it definitely hits all the notes we talked about before, how, like, the whole Jedi thing and just how, like, really messed up that whole world is, like, during the Clone Wars. And I'm like, I'm sitting there going, like, dang, this was a kid's cartoon, like, a Cartoon Network. Like, I was not ready for that. So it's been good. Yeah, I'm really liking it. If Boba Fett did one thing right, it got me to watch Clone Wars, like, seriously. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. It makes me want to stream. So I have, like, the Disney Infinity stuff on Steam, and there's, like, a whole Star Wars section. I think it's devoted to, like, Clone Wars as well. So I'm like, I should totally stream that one day. Just because I'm into it right now. And then the other show that I'm watching that is a little more graphic than I expected it to be. I mean, there's, like, one scene in particular in, like, one of the first few episodes, but Reacher is still really good. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Cool.
But there's, like, a whole scene where it's, like, a dude up on the wall, stuck up on this wall like a body, and it's, like, it's pretty graphic. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't think they were gonna go there, but it's Amazon, you know, like, they like to go that extra mile, whether it's intended or not. But yeah, Reacher is really good. Like, I'm really liking that actor as Reacher, and the dude's just so intimidating. Like, he just walks up to people and is like, "No, you're not gonna do this." Like, and they're like, "Okay, fine. Like, you're twice my size, and you're gonna crush my skull with your bare hands. Like, I'm good." Like, there is another part where, like, they asked him. They're like, "Oh yeah, this guy. You know, these guys. You know, they did this headbutt move on me," and he goes. And then the other cops are like, "Well, how'd you, like, what do you know about that?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, they're basically like cartel or some kind of, like, Colombian militia." And they're like, "What made you say that?" And he's like, "Well, they used a move on me that only those guys are trained to do." Like, and I was like, "What?" Like, they're like normal dudes attacking him in a small town, and it's just amazing, like that. Oh yeah, it's such a good character. So I'm enjoying it.
Heck yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to.
A couple things that I've been watching besides, I've been watching Vox Machina still. Still enjoying it. And then Walking Dead came back, so I've been watching that.
Nice.
They're finally doing something a little different, I feel like.
Yeah.
The story's gone in a weird direction, which is cool. I don't want to dive too much into it, but yeah, I don't know. I thought this was the last I thought the season would be over after this, or the show would be over after this. It is part 2 of a 3-part season. They just taken a year and a half to finish.
They're drawing it up.
Yeah, it's really strange. I'm not complaining. I mean, I like Walking Dead. I'm going to be sad when it's over, but I'm kind of ready for it to be over. I'm ready for that conclusion to just happen.
Yeah.
I think my saddest thing is that it's gone so far from where season 1 was.
Hopefully,
and,
it won't be like Game of Thrones bad.
I don't think it will be. I think it will be. If I'm to guess, I'm betting it's going to be very underwhelming.
Yeah, because there's a lot that's happened so much. Like you just said, like since that first season. Like the goals have changed and so much has changed that it's not going to have the impact that it probably should.
Well, and I'm worried too with like they have so many spinoffs going on and they're like pushing those, and so I feel like they're not going to really finish this story out, because if they did, it would finalize a lot of those other shows.
Yeah, I could see that.
And yeah, I mean, just given like what season 1 was about, there's just no way that they go a route that I can imagine where, you know, everyone is like they find a cure or something. Or they even go back to any kind of normalcy. But yeah, no, it's cool. I'm excited to see this come to a close, just because it deserves it at this point.
Yeah,
it has persevered over the years.
It's like just stop before like you hurt yourself again, kind of a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's time. It's done. It's. I mean, I've watched so many seasons of the show. They should be proud for like the fact that they were able to hold on during the times where it was getting really slow.
Yeah.
And we're able to revitalize it and breathe some life into it to where it was actually really interesting again.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say, like, we're almost 300 episodes into this podcast. I'm pretty sure you have been, or Joe, like when he first started, has been watching Walking Dead like since we started. I might be wrong, but it feels that way.
Yeah. I've been watching Walking Dead since before the podcast.
Well, yeah, because it came out like that show's been around for such a long time.
Yeah. I watched it a couple years after it had come out. I think it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so I watched like an episode. I think I watched an entire season, and then I went and told my wife, Tia, I was like, no, you need to go watch the entire season because we're watching this from now on. I was like, this is a thing that we're going to be watching.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's really, really good. Very glad that I brought her along on the journey, because she would not watch it herself.
Yeah.
For those who've never like dived into Walking Dead, there's so much to it now, and there are some slow spells in it. I will say, like, the first arc, I guess, where like things were exciting and they were in the farm and stuff, and The Walking Dead still kind of had a horror element to it. It doesn't do that very often anymore. It's more of an action show. Probably the strongest Christian messages in any form of media in quite a while, and it was really, really cool. Herschel is a specific character.
Yeah, that was, oh gosh, yeah.
There's such good moments, Christian moments in that show. Now there's a preacher, and sometimes I love him, and sometimes I can't stand him. He had a moment recently that could have been really cool, and he did not deliver. Unfortunately,
probably botched it with bad theology.
Yeah. Terrible theology. I mean, I'm not completely certain that he is a believer anymore.
Oh.
Like, I think he does it as a job. But he looks awesome. He's like, kind of gives something away, but he's blind in one eye, and it's like visibly blind. He's like scars.
That's what I'm
and then he's
about.
got this like big black like preacher's hat from the like Western, and then he's got his collar, Catholic collar. He looks awesome. But Herschel was definitely the better Christian influence in the show.
Herschel was kind of the straight man.
Yeah. He was this like old farmer. The biggest line, not to reminisce too much, I'll just never forget, it was about Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
It was kind of going crazy for a little while. And he's like, I don't want to lead anymore. He's like, I just don't think I can come back from this. And Herschel grabs his hand and says, you can always come back. You always get to come back. And it was just such a cool moment. And obviously, a heavy Christian message there as well.
Yeah.
You can always come back. Anyways.
Yeah.
We had to get something in there today.
No, but it's true, though. It really is.
Yeah. So good. The other show that I've been watching is Vikings of Valhalla. And those who don't know, I love Vikings and Last Kingdom and all those shows. I go to Renaissance festivals. I watched all of Vikings, and so I was really excited for this show. It's good for the most part, but there are scenes, and I don't know if I would have noticed this if someone else hadn't said something, so I'm sorry if I ruined the show for you by saying something. But they said it felt like very much like it was on a set, and there have been 2 instances where I fully agree. The first one is in the first episode. They are on a boat, and it literally looks like a green screen behind them, and then people are like throwing buckets of water on them from the sides. Like it does not look good. And then the second one, I don't know what they were thinking. They were supposed to be in a swamp. The episode's called Marsh. And not to give too much away, but they're in this marsh, and they get attacked.
By an ogre? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you know. No. And so, like, they fall into the water, and the water is, like, clear, even though they're in a swamp. And I've never been to a swamp before, but, I mean, LJ, are swamps, like...
No, swamps are not clear. Like,
LJ's from Louisiana.
Yeah,
I feel like you would know.
I don't know about like in Europe or wherever they're at. But
yeah, maybe it's European water is just really clear. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Maybe pollution's really just taking its toll. I don't know. But what is not can't be answered for is there's a light in the water, presumably just so you could see their faces while they were fighting under the water from like a cinematic perspective. But I was like, why is there light under the water?
Somebody
I don't understand.
Turn the pool lights off. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it literally looks like they had a pool, and then they took a bunch of grass and like built grass around it.
That's terrible.
It's bad. But the rest of the show, like the acting has been fine. I haven't had any problem with it. It feels very much like Vikings. And the story so far is decent.
Cool.
The first episode is great, storytelling wise. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep watching it. I like it. It's just got some moments that I'm like, is this Sharknado?
Dang.
Yeah.
Rip.
Another thing to talk about on this too. Just this is the Geeks Under Grace podcast. One cool thing that's happening is this takes place like 100 years after Vikings does.
Yeah.
A lot of the Vikings in the show are Christians.
That's awesome.
They've converted, and so there's actually kind of a civil war going on. There's like certain Christian Vikings don't want to fight with like alongside their pagan brothers, and they're like, we need to have a mass conversion before we go and fight. And there's a conversation of like working with them anyways, and it's just kind of cool to see. I'm in like these Renaissance groups and stuff. There are like people that are super into Vikings and say you can't be a Viking because like that would be completely against, or you can't be a Viking to Christian.
Yeah.
Like that would be like incorrect. And so there's these like this show that's kind of like
there are themes there I feel like I can totally connect with, especially now that I work in a secular environment. Like I would have never been able to connect with that like before, you know, like
totally.
Yeah. So like when you say that, it just gives me vibes from like some of the things I deal with and some of the people I work with. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just cool. I don't know. I'm enjoying the show so far.
That's awesome.
Hopefully there aren't like cars driving by in the back of the sets or anything. For the remainder
a
of the
coffee
show.
cup in Game of Thrones or some.
Yeah, Starbucks.
Yeah, there you go. I keep jabbing
We'll get
Game
into
of Thrones. It's too easy.
The news though. Yeah, Game of Thrones. Terrible season ender. Glad Elden Ring is good.
George R.R. Martin barely had anything to do with that game. He probably came he probably came up with some of the like character ideas, you know, but even the director was like, they're a whole different. The characters are so different, probably like from the first time he like helped design them up.
Oh, okay.
People are saying like, I wonder if George R.R. Martin remembers this game at all.
Yeah.
Like,
they were like, all right, give us tips, and he was like, everything dies.
They're like, we're already good at that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, we'll get into the news. We can kind of keep it pretty short.
Yeah.
Titan season 4 has started. There's no release date yet. But I know there's at least 10 of us still watching that show. Really excited about it. I think it's great.
I feel like the same could be said for Walking Dead as well, but at least Walking Dead has like
that's true.
A pedigree. Like,
yeah. Walking Dead, I mean, I can't believe it was so funny because the viewership, that wasn't all the news talked about, was how much that show was dying.
Yeah, but
so many people were still watching
that's like saying like Fortnite is dropping numbers, you know? Like, it's like there's still hundreds and
it's like
hundreds,
it's still way up
thousands
there.
of people, yeah. Anyway.
Titans feels like a really expensive web series.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about it. Like, it doesn't feel... I can't believe certain things get okayed in that show.
Yeah, like, it feels like it shouldn't exist, and I'm happy it still does. Like, despite what happened to, like, DC Universe, you know, like, that app, like, not really being a thing anymore.
I figured that would be kind of the end of it.
Yeah, like, I'm happy it's still around, and some of those things are still alive.
Yeah. There's a fight between Red Hood and Nightwing in season 3, and it's just like, that shouldn't be a thing. Like, in live action.
Yeah.
I was like, we couldn't even get a decent Batman movie, but I'm hearing some pretty good things about. Yeah. I'm hearing that it's new Batman movie's gonna be pretty great. So we'll see.
Yeah.
The other thing that we didn't think should exist, The Boys Diabolical, is an animated show based off of The Boys, which is an Amazon TV show. And it's an anthology series. We got a trailer for it, and it kind of looks really good.
It does. Like, I feel bad for saying that because it's like so vulgar and like just adult.
Yeah.
But it looks genuinely like funny and well written, like, and well animated. Like, it really looks solid.
Yeah, it's
like lots of
big
names.
Styles
and literally Invincible even gets name dropped like in the like trailer. And that was my worry, was like, we already have Invincible. We don't need a boys animated show either, you know. But this is a different thing than I think what we knew about at the time. So
it just like it makes me wonder. I'm like, I haven't watched The Boys, granted, but I'm like, is The Boys like world and universe and concepts big enough to even have like a separate episode about? Yes,
I think so.
It could be like this could be any show. Like, it could have just
been.
That's
true. It could have just been Invincible.
Like, if this was spinoffs of Invincible, this like minus what's his name?
Homelander.
I was thinking Highlander. Watched too much Vikings.
That couldn't be the only one.
Yeah. Besides Homelander, like, the show looks like it could have just be spinoffs of the Invincible.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few others that show up, like, what is it? The character that's in all black? I forget what his name is, but the one that doesn't talk. I forget his name.
But I mean, even him, like, Homelander is a very specific character of The Boys, but like, he's literally a knockoff. The one you're talking about, Noir.
Yes, Noir.
It's literally just Batman.
I almost said Vigilante, but that was Peacemaker.
Yeah, he could be Vigilante.
Oh my gosh, I want a Peacemaker show like that. It could have been Peacemaker. It could have been like Suicide Squad themed. Yeah.
Like, these characters, a lot of these characters looks like it could have been Invincible, and it would have totally made sense. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it looks fun. I mean, I'm interested.
It does look really good. And it comes out, like, on Friday, which is...
Oh, yeah, super soon.
Very soon. I didn't expect it that soon.
Yeah. I want more Invincible.
I'll give it a shot.
Get some more of that.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
we do need more of
that. Yeah, that's the TV news, though. That's it for the podcast, really. Are we geeking out about anything else this week?
Not really. I'm definitely going to watch Batman, so we'll talk about that next week.
Noise.
Yeah, I won't be here next week, but I will have seen it.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Shelley, you can get out about anything else?
Nope.
All right. I'm going to Denver. Gonna go snow tubing.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. I'm then going to Meow Wolf, Denver, which is 3 times as big as the one in Santa Fe. If you don't know what Meow Wolf is, Google it. It's a museum. That's super, super cool.
I was going to say, I feel like, I don't know if you talked about it somewhere, but I feel like I've heard about it.
Yeah, I had talked about it like when I went last time. I went to Santa Fe's.
Probably.
But very trippy. Like, you go into the museum, and in the museum, inside the museum, there's a house, like an old 90s house. And you like open the refrigerator, and the refrigerator is a portal to another dimension. I'm using quotations with my fingers. But it's like an art exhibit inside the fridge. Super cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, the podcast there then, though. Shelley, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellShock24. You can find me Tuesday nights, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace. I am still playing through Persona 4 Golden.
Cool. And LJ?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at WarHeroLJ. Still playing Canada Bridge of Spirits on a Twitch channel Friday nights, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace.
You can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.